Today I'm going to teach you guys 10 tips and tricks that only the pros know in Dead Rails. Alrighty boys, so we're not going to waste any time here. We're going to hop into tip number 1, and if any of these tips help you out, please hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 600,000 subs. Help your boy reach his goal. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. But tip number 1 is to loot absolutely everything. So guys, if you are in a town, let's say this is a town and there's 8 houses or whatever the case may be, I want you guys to go through every single building, because in these buildings, now not this one necessarily, but in the corners and stuff and weird places, you guys might be able to find bonds, which are obviously going to get you new classes. And or you guys might be able to find cool little bars like this right here at the start of the game. Check this out, a little gold bar right there, put it on the table, boom, we just earned $50 because we went around and explored a little bit. So make sure you guys are looting absolutely everything, and I promise you, you're gonna start finding and getting out of the matches with more bonds, which is gonna make you more, rich in the end of the day. So that's gonna be good for everyone. So make sure you guys are doing that. If you obviously are playing with teammates, then just try to beat them to the spots because they're gonna steal your loot, so you want to make sure you guys get there first. But let's move on to tip number 2. All right guys, so tip number 2 is gonna be to always keep moving at night. So whether that is if you are like in a village, keep moving, watch your back, always watch your back boys, and make sure you're moving because you can outrun these zombies pretty easily, and especially if you have the vampire class, it's not going to be too difficult. But if you stand still, you're going to get swarmed and you're probably going to die. Now as for the train, I highly recommend, if you're not that experienced in the game, you shouldn't even be looting at night or anything like that. Bad idea. Make sure you're on the train and just get on the seat, press W, and keep the train moving, boys, until you reach the next safe zone, because at the safe zones, the turrets are just gonna save you and you're gonna be chilling and everything's gonna be okay. But if you're out in the open, the zombies or outlaws or werewolves, vampires, anything could sneak up on you and easily kill you guys. So tip number 2, just keep on moving, and I'm telling you guys, in the long run, it's gonna help you out a ton. All right, my friends, so tip number 3 is if you guys are low on fuel, or if you guys have max fuel, don't forget bodies will fill up the train. And more so for this tip, the main point is if your train's already full because you got a lot of coal or whatever the case may be, you put in a lot of other stuff into the train, fueled it up, guess what you guys could do? So you could kill zombies, so watch this, just like this. Well, make sure you kill them. And once you kill them, check out this trick. So you're gonna pick them up, and just like this, we're going to bring it back to the train. We can take some of this stuff later, but for right now, I want to show you guys tip number 3. This is most important for you. So in this case here, my train is not full, so I'm actually going to use these later on. But what you could do to save inventory space for your little bag is you could pick these zombies up or outlaws or any, creature in the game and weld it to the side of the train. And guess what? Even when the train moves, you guys can come back and they won't move. They're just going to be welded and they're not going to fall off. And then later on, when you run out of fuel, see, I'm really low, so I can just grab it, press Z, unweld it, pick it up. And guess what, guys? We can go ahead and fuel up the train. We can fill it up. So here we go. Boom. The train is now not completely full, obviously, but it's better than it was before. So it's a great little tip to fill up the train. So save your zombies, pin them to the side of the train, and you're gonna be golden. And going back to tip number 1 here, we gotta loot everything. So let's go back over here, grab everything, and fill this train up so that way we have enough fuel in order to make it to the next safe zone. So that's very important, but hopefully that's a good tip for you guys, and it'll help you guys not run out of fuel anymore. Alright guys, our next tip here, I believe number 4, is always aim for the head, whether it's zombies, werewolves, cowboys, whatever the case is. They're going to go down quick, and it's just a very smart idea. And I think you guys should definitely be doing it all the time. Now, look at all those guys over there. I'm not going to fight that. That's a fight I'm probably going to lose. So we're going to play it safe. Grab this guy because we could actually sell him for a lot of money later on. We could even take this horse too because why not? So we're going to hold on to those 2 things and we're just going to keep on moving, boys. All right, guys. So for tip number 5 here, I just kind of want to talk and cover some of the classes here. Now, I just want to say, if you can, obviously use a class, guys, and use whatever you have that you're best with. That's my best advice for you. To get a lot of bonds, obviously just play the game and just keep buying stuff. Buy the class that you think you're gonna want and use the most. I recommend something like the Doctor, Cowboy, Miner is pretty good, Survivalist to do extra damage. The Vampire is also really good. If you have them all, just like I said, use what you're best at, or make sure you use a class that is going to complement your teammates if you're playing with a group. So what do I mean by that exactly? Well, let's say for example here, let's say you're playing with the conductor, right? So you're playing with the conductor. That means you probably shouldn't be the conductor. You should probably be like the doctor or maybe the miner or just something else that's, you know, your teammates not, because it's just going to help you out in the long run and make things a little bit easier for everyone. And it's going to make your team just completely better in the long run. So make sure you do that. You know, obviously the more like, you know, different passives and stuff that you guys can combine together, it's just going to be a good thing all around. Now I'm going to have to kill my horse here and use that for fuel. You know, sometimes you got to be a little bit dirty in the game, but we're out of fuel and we're only 6,000 meters in and it's nighttime, so we gotta follow rule number 2 or whatever it was. Always keep moving, especially at night. We don't want to get stuck out here, and unfortunately we are right now because we don't have enough fuel, and there's just been no loot along this whole entire track. I ran into one house, you guys saw me loot that, and we saw a couple cowboys. I didn't want to fight all them, that would have probably ended badly for me, but oh, look at this, we finally got another house up here, so that's gonna be good. But I'm just gonna kind of hunker down on the train right now and sit in this little spot, hopefully not die. I'm just gonna kind of keep moving back and forth, looking all around, and hopefully by moving like that, oh, there's a big town up there, so we gotta wait till daytime and then we'll go ahead and raid that, and then we'll get a lot of fuel and we should be good to keep on going throughout the night. So I'll see you in the morning for the next tip, I think, which is number 6. And a little waiting later, and it's finally morning, boys. So moving on to tip number 6 here, this kind of goes right on with it. Always be exploring and looting in the daytime. Now I don't recommend doing it at night, because at nighttime it's gonna be a little bit risky. You definitely don't want to be exploring and end up dead at nighttime, right? So let's be smart here, play it smart and safe, and that's how you're gonna do a lot better at this game. And we are going to absolutely loot everything in this town, my friends. So the sheriff's office right here, we're gonna loot it, and we're also gonna be aiming at the head like our one tip, because look at how quick these guys go down. And now if you have a rifle, you're gonna be taking these zombies down so fast, it's not even funny. And another secret tip here, maybe we'll put this into another thing, but you know what? Yeah, tip number 7, guys. Tip number 7 is gonna be, if there's zombies inside a house, don't waste your ammo. What you could do is you come over here and just whack them through the wall. Sometimes it works. Boom, there we go, we got that one. We got that one too. Let's just keep whacking this guy, and any second, boom, dead. All right, we just killed 3 zombies, didn't shoot a bullet. That's a great way to save ammo. So what we're gonna do here is take all this rifle ammo and actually grab the rifle, which is amazing, my favorite gun in the game. So we're gonna bring that on over to our nice little hotbar slot right there, and guess what? We're gonna put all these things in the bag, use it for fuel, money, you know, whatever the case may be. We are gonna be chilling. So until we get on to the next tip here, I am gonna be looting this little city or town, and then I'll see you guys for tip number 8, I think. 7, 8, one of those, and I'll tell you guys that after I'm done looting. So let me lock in here and kill all these zombies. Here we go. Holy smokes, boys, that was a close one right there, looting that town. Things got crazy because it kind of warped on over to nighttime, and that was kind of a little too hectic. But luckily, we got a lot of loot. We got a lot of fuel. Fortunately, we drove the train a little too far there, but that's okay. Everything's going to be fine. And we are here to sell our stuff, but that's cool and all. But what's tip number 8, guys? Well, tip number 8 and 9, we're going to go 8 first, is to obviously, like, when you're playing the game, guys, use like your best gun, right? Like, let's just say that, like, in general, like, use the best gun you want and kind of stick to that. You don't really have to swap like between like shotgun or, you know, whatever the case may be. Just stick to one, and always make sure you carry extra ammo. And obviously, to get extra ammo, all those goodies we got, like the gold bars and other loot, I'm just gonna sell that to get a lot of money, and then we're gonna go ahead and buy a bunch of good ammo. So me personally, my favorite weapon in this game is going to be the good old rifle. That's why I put it into my 3rd slot, and that's why I was using it during that little montage right there, because that thing goes crazy. It one-shots to the head, and it is just my go-to weapon. So we're gonna come on over to the gunsmith and buy a ton of extra ammo. As you guys can see here, I only have 22 bullets. If you could get up to like 200 to 300, guess what? You're gonna be chilling, and you're never gonna run out, and life's gonna be good for you. So let's just buy a bunch of ammo here, and then we're not gonna have to worry about it for literally the rest of the game. So just like that. Should be pretty good here. So let's just kind of drag them all over like this. And then we'll pick it all up. And then we should be good, boys. So there we go. And boom. Let's see how much we got. So we got 238. That should last us pretty much the whole entire game or until we're dead. And moving on to tip number 9. Make sure you make your way on over to the doctor's place over here, guys. Because if I had money in the last time, I wouldn't have even come close to dying. But now that I have a lot of money, which hopefully you guys have by now, get yourself heals. Always carry extra heals, whether you're playing with yourself, like solo, or if you're playing with teams. Because if you have a team and you have bandages, you can revive your teammates. If you're playing solo, get the snake oil, because snake oil will pretty much auto heal you. So I like to carry at least 1 or 2 of these guys. And pretty much if you have that, you should be fine and not die. But you never know, right? So we'll do that, and we'll carry in like a little bandage here just in case we only get hit like a little bit. So boom, we got extra heals. We're chilling now. And that is going to be tip 8 and 9. Kind of like together right there, just because super great things to have and just to know, and it's definitely going to keep you guys alive a lot longer. And then obviously just like a little general tip here, body armor, guys, obviously is great. It's fantastic. It's going to help you guys, you know, take more hits and just in general not die. So it's also really good against like guns. So if you guys are getting hit a lot by like, you know, some sort of bullet type enemy like the outlaw or zombie outlaw type guy, then having a little bit of body armor is going to be great for you. So now that we have that, let's go get a little bit of extra fuel, and then we will hop on the train and get to tip number 10. Where's the fuel at, though? The general store? Oh, our general store I don't think had any fuel, so we might be cooked when it comes to that, but that's okay. We'll just get to the train when we can. Hopefully our guns don't run out of ammo, and once it's daytime, I'm going to hop on the train and get moving. Alright guys, so tip number 10, it's been nighttime for a while. I think we could just get right on into this. Tip number 10, boys, is going to be to beef up your train. What do I mean by that? Well, inside the general stores, boys, if you have a lot of money, you're gonna find either metal panels, which this one sadly doesn't have, or barbed wire. Now, in this case, we have barbed wire, so we could get this and put it into our little bag. We'll buy a couple of them just because we have a little bit of extra money here. And then we're gonna put these onto the train. Now, listen, metal plates are going to be a lot better because it's going to protect you from the gunshots from like the outlaws and stuff. And like before, like, you know, if you guys are watching that little montage part there, I would have died. I almost died to that little vampire. He's like snuck up on me and actually almost killed me. So to avoid that, I'll show you guys how to deck out your train and make it an absolute tank. So let's just grab these zombies for fuel. Luckily, these guns have been covering us, so that's very nice. But when it comes to the barbed wire, I'll show you where to put that. And these are the vampires that almost killed me when I was riding there. So let's fill up the train here, and I think we got some extra zombies. So once again, with these, if you follow my video, put these on the side of the train, just like this. And make sure you weld them, though, otherwise they're going to fall off. So now we got the barbed wire. Okay, barbed wire. Put these right here. All right, barbed wire right here, great spot. Another one, we can put it on this side over here if the game's not bugged. Just make sure you guys weld them, otherwise they're just gonna fall right off. Now, the final spot you can put these is kind of just like here, or at least on the back of the train. I mean, obviously, if you get enough to put them all around the train, that's great. Now, when it comes to the metal plates, you're gonna wanna put a metal plate on the outside of this window, right here. Outside of this window, oops, right here. And then one, you're just gonna attach it to like the back wall and kind of make like a little opening on the left side over here. And now you're completely safe inside of this little container. So that's, you know, really good. And then when it also comes to beefing out the train, especially if you're playing with friends, you guys can put a gun on the top up here. And then like when you make it to the end of the game, you guys can just kind of light up all the zombies and outlaws from up here on the gun. And it does a lot of damage, especially if you're fighting the Tesla unit. It's going to be really OP for you. So boys, hopefully this video has made you guys a pro. If it did, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, share it with a friend, because surely you got a friend that plays this game and they probably need help because they're probably a noob. So thank you guys for watching. I really did hope, you know, you liked it. And if you want to see more tips, we could maybe even make another 10, like 10 more tips only pros know for this game, because there's a lot of tips that I can be teaching you guys. But we're running out of time in this video. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.